two categories, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. First, we'll talk about the peripheral nervous system. The peripheral nervous system is made up of all nerves outside of the brain and spinal cord. The peripheral nervous system controls voluntary movement of skeletal muscles, heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, and other involuntary processes. It also controls the reflex and reflex arc and the fight or flight response. The peripheral nervous system connects central nervous system to the limbs and the rest of the body. The anatomy of the peripheral nervous system has 31 spinal nerve pairs, which provide sensory information to control limbs, and 12 cranial nerve pairs, which provide sensory information and control the head and neck. The peripheral nervous system is also divided into the autonomic and the somatic. The somatic nervous system controls voluntary movement. The autonomic nervous system controls regulatory and voluntary body processes and is divided into the sympathetic and the parasympathetic divisions. The parasympathetic division conserves energy and brings the body back to a regulatory state, and the sympathetic division initiates the fight or flight response.
I will be talking about the central nervous system. The central nervous system controls our thoughts, movements, emotions, and desires. It also controls our breathing, heart rate, release of hormones, and body temperature. The central nervous system is split up into two parts, the brain and the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the bridge between the brain and the peripheral nerves. The brain is split up into 4 lobes. The lobes are temporal, occipital, parietal, and frontal. The temporal lobe has our sensory input and emotional meaning. The occipital has our visual processing. The parietal has our sensory information. And the frontal is all about our attention, reward, short-term memory, motivation, and planning. The brain is also split up into regions. The regions are the basal ganglia, which controls our motor movements, the cerebellum, which controls our precise motor, the Broca's area, which controls our language processing, the corpus callosum, which is how our hemispheres communicate between each other, the medulla oblongata, which has our involuntary functions, the hypothalamus, which has our temperature, thirst, and hunger, the thalamus, which has our sensory and motor input, and the amygdala, which has our decision-making, memory, and emotion.
Parkinson's is a disease categorized under the nervous system.
Parkinson's disease? What's that?
Parkinson's disease is a chronic neurodegenerative disease involving motor function. This means it is permanent and eventually the function of the organs will be completely lost. What is the cause of Parkinson's disease? The loss of cells and parts of the brain, including the substantia nigra region. This region is important because it produces dopamine, which is responsible for sending signals that control movement. The symptoms of Parkinson's progressively get worse. They start out as just a tremor in one hand, and then that progresses to multiple limbs. Then includes strange sleeping patterns, difficulty speaking, facial stiffness, distorted sense of smell. This is prevalent in our society because there are over 200,000 cases per year in the United States.
So I will be talking about the implications of Parkinson's disease. So we have physical consequences and we also have social consequences. So for the physical consequences, a lot of the time, the tremors within the body affect the person as a physical disability. And not only that, there's a decrease in the ability to perform everyday activities before the diagnosis of Parkinson's disease. For social consequences, a lot of people face social withdrawal and isolation, and it's hard maintaining many social engagements that people have. Not only that, they receive stigmas from other people in a sense of consoling them as if they weren't regular people. A lot of the times with the social withdrawal and isolations, a lot of people develop mental illnesses such as depression.
Welcome to Jeopardy! On the right, we have Team 1 with Alyssa and Kendall. And on the left, we have Team 2 with Jacob and Daniel. Alyssa and Kendall, you're up first. What would you like?
Central nervous system for 500.
If the Broca's area were to become damaged, what does an individual find difficult and what are they still able to do? And what is your answer?
D, finds it difficult to speak, but can still understand speech.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
And you are correct! 500 for you! Jacob and Daniel, what would you like?
Peripheral nervous system for 100.
100.
What are the two main divisions of the peripheral nervous system? And what is your final answer, Team 2?
The somatic and autonomic nervous system.
You are correct! Kendall, Alyssa, which question would you like?
Parkinson's disease implications for 300.
Great choice. Parkinson's disease can cause an increase in dependence on blank. And what is your answer?
Who are caregivers?
Good job. You are correct. Jacob and Daniel, what would you like?
Miscellaneous for 300.
How many cases of Parkinson's disease are reported in the United States every year? All right, and what is your answer?
What is 200,000?
You are correct. 300 points for you. Team 1, what would you like?
Central nervous system for 200.
What is the brain protected by? And what is your answer?
What is the skull?
You are correct. What is your next question?
Parkinson's disease general for 500.
500.
What chemical is responsible for sending signals that control movement and when there's a loss of cells that leads to Parkinson's? And what is your answer?
What is serotonin?
Wrong. Alyssa, Kendall, would you like to take it?
It's obvious. What is dopamine?
You are ding ding correct. And we're back with Jeopardy. We have Team 1, Kendall and Alyssa, with 3,000 points. And we have Team 2, Jacob and Daniel, with 2,700 points. We are now at our final Jeopardy question. Kendall, Alyssa, how much would you like to wage?
All of it.
Daniel, Jacob?
2,600.
700.
How many spinal nerve pairs are in the peripheral nervous system? All right, do you all have your answers in? All right, and the answer was, drum roll please, 31! That means both teams got it right, but with Alyssa and Kendall in the lead of 3,000, they are the winners! Tune in next week for more Jeopardy and fun.